What's up, everybody? In this video, you're gonna get the opportunity to see one of our students walk you through his fix and flip project, show you the income he was able to make, and kind of talk about the process and system that's allowed him to walk away from his IT business and do real estate investing full-time. Well, I think he's still doing IT part-time, but he's making massive and passive income with real estate investing, and can't wait for you to see this information. If you'd like to go through a similar process and get to know who we are, give us a call. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Thanks for
Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Van Dang. If you're here for the Fix and Flip property tour, you're at the right place. So before we move further, I just want to do a quick mic check. 1, 2, 3. If you guys can hear me clearly, please put the letter Y in the chat box so we know you guys can hear me. Also, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to type it up. Somebody is monitoring that on the other side, and we'll get to your inquiries promptly. So I see all the yes coming in, and we're good on the mic check. Okay, so before we move further, probably wondering, who am I? So my name is Van Dang. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. Once I got out of the Army, I decided to move into the IT field, information technology. I thought that's what I wanted to do, but I quickly realized I was overworked and underpaid. Some of you all on the other side can probably relate right now. I was doing like 70, 80 hours a week. I was pretty much burning myself out. I knew that there had to be a change because I was capable of doing more and being more. And so I started going out there, going to different network meetings, events, in person and virtually. So along the way, I was looking for that one thing, and that one thing was real estate investing. And I went to something called an intro meeting. At the intro meeting, it was a local group of real estate investors. They talked about what they did and how they did it. And I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. It's real people doing real deals with a real process. So I was like, I want some of that. So I was really fascinated with the whole idea. I joined right away, got myself immersed in getting knowledge, because like with anything in life, if you have the knowledge, it empowers you to do things. So I got the knowledge, and what's cool about this community was there was local people there doing the same thing. So I was able to go to this thing called study groups. At these study groups, you're able to like learn the material on your own, virtually, on demand, anytime, and then come in person as a group and kind of like go over things, making sure you're on the right track. So I developed some good business relationships along the way, and within a short amount of time, a few months, we got into our first fix and flip. The first fix and flip I did with these partners took us about from beginning to end. So pretty much when I say beginning to end, it means beginning when you found the property, negotiated, so when you sold the property, you had the money in your account. So it's less than 3 months, and we made $85,000. So at that point, I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is cool. There's no way it's this easy. It is easy. It's hard. It's hard as easy as you make it seem. So, you know, we have the support system. We have the community. We have the knowledge, the resources. So you combine it all together, you get some results. So at that point, I was like, can I do this again? If I can do this again, I'll definitely quit my job right away. So I was able to do that again and again and again and again. Anyways, this isn't about me. It's about you all. You guys came here for a fix and flip property tour. What my intentions are today is to be able to show you all how we were able to fix and flip the property with the resources and community that I am part of. And hopefully, if you guys are a part of it already, great. I'll give you guys some classes you guys can watch. If you're not already, stay tuned as we go through this whole journey together, and maybe it'll give you guys some ideas or something to trigger you to the next step. So what is a fix and flip? A fix and flip is one of four levels of real estate investing. You got your wholesaling, you got your fix and flip, you got your buy and holds, and then you got your actual, you become the bank. So you're the main investor. So you get to able to lend money on your own terms. You are the bank. A lot of times people are like, hey, I drive by properties all the time. I see this house with weeds growing outside, from inside, outside the home. It's crazy. I think there's a deal. I'm like, well, if it's a deal, have you made contact with the owner? These conversations I have with people outside the community, they're always like, no, I don't know. If I knocked on the door and they answer, how would I make communication with them? So if you're part of the community, we have a couple classes you guys can watch, one of which is market analysis. That's market analysis. And he goes over those steps about what to do to determine once you knock on the door, how to determine whether a property is a good deal or not. So let's talk about acquisitions right now, acquiring the property. Usually when you acquire the property, it costs money. It doesn't have to be your own money. This whole project we did is something we use something called OPM, other people's money. What that is it's not going to the banks, not going to different lending institutions. It's contacting local people that that have money sitting in their 401k, savings account, whatever, not some kind of retirement account or just money sitting on the side. They're not earning the best returns on. And there's a class called private money. Again, it's called private money. It teaches you how to have this conversation with people regarding raising private capital to do deals without using something called a hard money lender. Some of you guys might be watching like, I wonder which hard money lender they're using. We didn't use a hard money lender for this one. We used all straight private capital, which is great because we're able to negotiate terms with the person, not terms with the bank. Because when you try to negotiate terms with the bank, more than likely you have to go with the bank's terms. So acquisitions. In a minute here, I'll switch over to the slide so you can see what this property looked like exterior wise before we start the project. This does not look like a distressed property. Most times you're like, okay, I can tell right away that's a distressed property, but this wasn't distressed property from exterior. We found out about this particular property because we do a lot of deals. So when people know that you're doing deals, they kind of reach out to you. So somebody in our community reached out to us and like, hey, I got this friend that I know, and here's her story. So the story is, okay, property story. How we normally handle a distress level of a home owner or a property seller is we have this little bar. It's called distress level bar. As we go through and gather information and facts about the property and where it's at and the owner, we get this level of distress. So for this particular property, it was owned by a husband and wife. They were happy, nothing going on, two incomes, great, everything's good, everybody's healthy. Unfortunately, he got killed by a drunk driver, so it added a level of distress, as you see below the bar. Next, uh, because he was killed, the two incomes now become one income. So now it's all on her. She then gets injured and can no longer work, so she can't drive. She can't do the normal functions as she did before, and she lost her job. So basically, her one income now is no income. She starts using up her savings, which in turns causes another level of distress. Her expenses start adding up because she's going through rehab, getting her it was her leg, getting her leg fixed, and it start adding up medical expenses. And because she has no income coming in, she start using her savings and certain things she couldn't pay, so expenses start adding up. She falls behind on her mortgage. And of course, that leads to a mental breakdown. So at this point, we go in and we have a conversation with the property owner to see how we can help. Okay, and we have a question. Janice asked a question. The person who told you all about this property or kind of led you to getting this deal done, what was their reward? Did you guys compensate them monetary wise? Okay, Janice, so you're pretty much asking in terms of like a wholesaler. A wholesaler is somebody who brings a particular property to more experienced investors and they rehab and stuff like that. Um, no, so this particular person was already part of our real estate investing community. Um, like I said before, they were part of the church and the church of the distressed owner. So uh, I kind of already thought about this already, so thanks for the question. But the the reward. So what's the reward? As the investor, the reward's always okay. How much money can we make off this deal, and how can we help the distressed owner? So the distressed owner needed money. She didn't get out of the property. She was behind. That's the reward for her. Our reward is I'll go over the numbers a little bit. You guys can see. But what's her reward for bringing all this? She didn't want the money, but what's her reward? So first of which, she's a church member, person of God. So she wants to help the person in her church, just to get her back on her feet. So that's the reward in itself. However, she saw an extra income opportunity. What does that mean? So she knew that she could probably help this person out by getting them a new home through a buy and hold rental property. So the lady who's part of the community, I'm not gonna give her name out because I don't want to throw her out there, but she was like, "Hey, I want another rental property, and she needs a home, and I know that she has a consistent flow of income." So she started getting Social Security because at her age she started getting it. I think she's turned 65 or this year or something like that. The distressed owner, and she knew about this, so she's like, "Hey, I already have a tenant. I just gotta find the rest of the process, but I gotta help her out first." So she recognized, okay, we have a community. We can just find somebody who's doing fix and flips. Let's get them on board to fix this property and get her out of there and then on to the next place. So what she did was she realized this is a win-win situation for everybody. How you can tell if a particular project is a successful one, it's not just about the money, it's about helping everybody out. Can everybody win the situation? If you're going out there with that mindset of how you can help everybody, more than likely you'll be very more successful than the person who looks at it like, how much money can I make? So in this situation, everybody wins. We win as the investors. We know the numbers. We know that we make a potential profit out of this. She wins, the distressed owner, by getting out of the distressed situation and getting some money to move on and with her life. And the third person recognized that she can get a buy and hold property and have a tenant inside. So how does she know what to do? Well, there's a class within our education. This guy Chris goes over 2 days of buy and hold. So if you don't know how to do a buy and hold, how to research it, how to do your numbers and analysts and all that stuff, he goes over 2 days of how to do that. She also tapped into the community. There's people within our community that know of properties that cash flow. They just need buyers. So, they connect the two. Um, she's like, okay, great. I got the first two down. How do I know as far as structuring some kind of lease or, rental agreement with the distressed owner? So she watches class with this lady, Nicole. Nicole goes over like step by step and hands. So while you're going over the class, watching it on demand, you can print out documents within the classes to go over while she's going over the contracts. So you know what to fill out. You can pause, you can rewind it. And I think I mentioned earlier, you're watching this on your own, but you can always go to study groups. Study groups can be in person or online. You can go in there and interact with more experienced people as well as fellow peers who are at your level to kind of mastermind and develop like plans of action. Like, okay, well, I'm learning this. What are you doing? So, you know, there's a saying, it says you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So what that means is, we're here to help. There's always people looking for opportunity, but they don't know how to connect the dots. And there's people in here that know how to connect the dots, but they need to find people. So, like I said, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Thank you, Janice, for that question. It really helped out. Acquisitions. Uh, when you're going to talk to a property owner, most of the time you have to know what you're going to say before you go out there. So what questions to ask. So what we did was within our back office, that's a screenshot on the right side of our back office. You can go and download different type of scripts or documents depending on what the scenario is. So that little illustration tells us we have a bunch of documents. You can go in there, just look at which one and just download. Um, John, you have a question. Uh, are these files mobile friendly? Yes, they are. So you don't have to go to your computer if you don't own a computer and try to open it and download and print it and then take it with you. Depending on what you're doing, if you're door knocking and you're like talk to a property owner and they're interested in selling, you can go to your mobile device and you can search a document and go from there. Thanks, John. All right. So based on the conversation we had with this particular property owner, we found out there's two liens. Uh, what are liens? Liens are usually mortgages. So in this particular situation, she had a first position mortgage and she had a second position HELOC, or line of credit. Uh, if you guys never heard of such, you can watch this class called Understanding Mortgages. This guy Christian goes over different type of mortgages, different loan products people use to buy their homes. And if you're going to be a real estate investor, you need to know these things so that way you can negotiate terms, understand how to move things around. Like I said, she had two liens on there, first and second position. So from that we had to understand, okay, how do we get control of this property without having a loan call due? Because certain lenders, certain mortgage institutions, when they find out you're trying to do certain things with the deed or the title, they're going to call the loan due, and you have to pay the whole balance. So, Christian goes over his class called Title, Escrow, and Closing. He explains how you can do that and be able to uh, fix and flip it like we did, and then later on go through a clean title transaction with the new potential homeowner. So once you've done rehabbing, you got to sell it. And you want to make sure you do all the stuff beforehand so that way it doesn't become a mess and delay settlement when you're trying to make money. So that leads to contract agreement. We have to decide uh, what strategy we're going to use. So this particular strategy we use is something called a subject to the existing mortgage. This guy Brian goes over to seller financing and subject to strategies. So if it's a good strategy to use if you want low buy-in. What I mean by that is if you want to acquire the property or get control of it to be able to do what we're doing, which is fixing and flipping, or maybe if you're planning on doing some kind of buy and hold, it's good to know these strategies because it gives you low buy-in, and then that way you have control of the property. You don't have to necessarily own the property. Remember, real estate investing is about controlling property, not owning the property necessarily. Um, so after we did all that, we're like, okay, we're going to need some help. We're going to need some people to, some professionals to put all this together, such as a title officer, which, inside our real estate investing community, we have title officers, we have real estate lawyers, which we use both. And then if you guys need a notary or need a contractor, a plumber, electrician, we have all that there. Got a question here. Hector asks, do I have to be part of the community to be part of this referral system? No, no, Hector. Preferably, we like to because that way we know what kind of work you do. But if you're trying to expand your business and trying to help us out, and we can help you out, by all means, that's what we're here for. We want to make sure that we're all doing business amongst each other. So you're a painter. Okay, thanks Hector. So yeah, painters too. So wherever it is, we have all that here. And if you're part of inside the community internally, it helps out because we know what you do because we're doing work with you. But if you're on the outside trying to get in, that's fine too. Just let us know. All right, thanks for the questions, guys. Okay, the costs. So let's go over the numbers. Based on the conversation, all the discussion, and understanding what mortgages are involved and balance and dues, we came to the agreement with, because we're trying to do this as a business and make money on our end, but at the same time we're trying to help the distressed property owner. So she agreed to $50,000. So we got control of this property for $50,000. Remember I said before, real estate investing is the game of controlling real estate and actually owning it. So we were able to acquire this property for $50,000, and you're like, okay, well, what kind of negotiations or what kind of terms you guys hit? This guy Bob, he goes over this class called negotiations. So in this class, you're able to pick up certain cues that people may say during the middle of a conversation with property owner, and also concessions and things like that, emotional intelligence, cues, understanding conscious, subconscious of persons. It's like psychology of person. He goes over that. Also, you know, trying to make sure that it's the best terms for everybody. So everybody's a win-win situation. So you can watch that class. That's what we did. Um, we realized it's going to cost us $75,000 to rehab. So during this process of walking through a property, visiting the property multiple times and talking to the homeowner, determining what is updated and whatnot. Um, we also watch this class with this guy named Brian. He goes over 2 days of rehabbing. He thoroughly walks everything from when the property is in its current form to once it's torn apart, where you see the foundations, and then going from there and rehabbing it and looking for things that may come up during inspections. So, you can watch day one, day two, which we did, and come up with rehab costs. Um, Question coming in here. Heather asks, besides watching the class, how else were you able to come up with the rehab costs? Okay, thanks, Heather. So you can go into our back office if you're a community member, and there's a calculator there, and there's also those documents which I mentioned earlier. It goes through a kind of fill in the blank. Once you walk through, you're like, okay, kitchen check, and then you're like, okay, well, based off this, and then you can tie in like other classes like business credit, and then get something like called SKU numbers and know what items are costing and then how many you need. Um, Also, like I said earlier, what Hector brought up was, inside our community, we have referral systems. So we have contractors and painters and plumbers, electricians. So we can contact all those people and then put it all together to come up with rehab costs. In this case, we have a reliable contractor, and he was pretty set on what this price was, and was pretty much close to $75,000 rehab cost, which that's what it cost us. So all that money involved, I think I mentioned this earlier. We don't have to. You don't have to use your own money. A lot of times, people are trying to get into a deal, and then they exhausted all their capital. They have like no credit left, lines of credit, balance. The debt to credit ratio on their cards. They're fully exhausted. They're they're using up all their personal assets. Uh, Within our community, we go over the process of building your business to be able to have capital, lines of credit, and different type of loan products for just your business, so you don't have to personal guarantee it. It operates by itself. Or you can look at other people in the community who have a lot of who don't have enough time but have some money sitting around, or just have the money in some kind of investment or retirement account that aren't earning the best rates of return. So we use other people's money. I think I mentioned that. So it's other people's money. Okay, so we understand it's going to cost $50,000 to acquire the property from the property owner to get control of it. We know it's going to cost $75,000 to rehab it. We know that we don't have to use our own money; we use other people's money. So there's a class called Private Hard Money with Scott Kindle. He goes over the process of having a conversation with a property owner. I mean, sorry, not property owner, with people you may know, just everyday people. So in this case, we have a little kind of a cheat code because we have people in our community that have money sitting around that they want to use, but they just don't have time to actually rehab it. They just want some, they just want to put, hey, here's some money, go put it to work for me. So that's what we do. We found out that somebody in our community did something called self-directed IRA. They watched this class. So they were able to take some money out of their retirement account, which is very volatile right now, especially during these times. And the money's going up and down. And they're like, okay, I'm just tired of this. This is causing me stress. I just want to be able to know where my money's at. So instead of saying, hey, how's your retirement? You're like, oh, the market's crazy. I don't know where my money's at. She now says, well, if you want to know where my retirement is, it's on 12345 Main Street. So that's what a self-directed IRA is. So that's what we found out from her. So she was one part of the private lending. The second part is there's a gentleman, he watched this class with Christian. It's called velocity banking. So he was able to pay all his debts down, actually eliminate all his debts, but I think one or two things, because he's one on his revolving account just to make sure his credit is going good. Um, anyways, so he was able to pay all his debts down, and he had like just freed up some capital and some freed up some cash flow. So he started storing it away. He's like, you know what, I want to invest because I have all this cash. I don't want it just sitting around. So because he watched Velocity Banking and paid all his debts down, he has cash sitting around. So him and her were the major contributors of the private lending in his project. The next component was, I think I mentioned it several times, was business credit and financing. This guy Eric goes over the process. In this particular realm, what it does, if you're fixing and flipping, you don't want to use all your capital. So we have these trade lines in place so we can buy material and get uh, supplies, so we don't have to pay back right away. So we have something called net 60, net 90. So what it means is you have terms where you don't have to pay back to 60 days after, 90 days after. So that's great because if you're doing a fix and flip and you have an idea of what you're doing, and you gauge the project. So if you're going to acquire a property, it's going to take you about, I don't know, like 3 or 4 weeks. That's 30 days. And then so you buy materials somewhere in there. And then, closings go normally take about another 30 days. So 60 days after that, you get paid from the actual fix and flip, and you take that money and you pay off your lines. You can also have other lines where you use it. We have this one line where it gives us $100,000, and we don't have to pay for like 45 days. Those certain things like that. I'm just giving you guys examples of what we did, but it's in business credit and financing here. You guys can watch that if you're part of the community. Question here. Oh, Eric. Eric has a question for Eric. That's funny. Eric here asks, um, let me ask here. What is the difference between the amount given for a personal line of credit versus a business line of credit? I'm assuming you're asking about how much more money, like what? Okay, oh, okay, got it. Okay, so you're asking. Okay, so if I'm applying for a business credit, do I have to personally guarantee it, and how does it work as far as approval process and what the quality qualify you for? Okay, I can't go thoroughly in depth to that, but this is a lot of information he goes over. But what I can say is, um, once you have your business entity set up and you're registered with the right credit bureaus, the business credit bureaus, they start reporting, and it just works. It works like a regular personal credit, but with business, and also depending on your borrowing power, they'll give you higher lines of credit. So, you can go down to a credit union and try to apply for a personal line of credit. They go off of you know, your paycheck, your debt to credit ratio, your personal finances. They might give you, like, I don't know, depending on if you're doing good and your credit score is good, they might give you $10,000. Versus a business line of credit, I can go down to the same credit union or another institution that I know that are business credit friendly, that might give me a higher limit, like 50,000 or 100,000 or $250,000. It really depends. But I'm not an instructor. I'm just a student. I'm just here just to show you guys what I did for fix and flip and uh, the business credit. But you can watch that class, get more information about it from whoever invited you to this this property tour. Okay, so now we're going to start talking about the property itself. So this is the external view, the outside street view of the house before we start the rehab. If you guys can go ahead in the chat box, if you're, let's say for instance, you're driving by and you see this house, what about it would make you think is this stress that needs to be knocked on? So go ahead and type that in the chat box, and somebody is monitoring that. Okay. Um, all right, let's look at this property. Normally the first thing we look at is the roof itself. So in this case, the roof is still good. so we didn't have to really worry about that. We found out from the property owner that it was changed out about back in 2014, so it's a newer roof. Somebody asked about these solar panels. Uh, she said that somebody got her good. That's what she said. So they're 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 not turned on, I guess. They're installed. We looked at it. We had somebody looked at it. Um, the new owner who bought it, or who's going to buy it, because it's under contract right now, and the new owner who's going to buy it, they have some experience with it, so they said that's fine. Um, does it affect the price of the home? Not really. Based on the class I mentioned earlier, the market analysis, you can see how that affects the price of a home in the area based on other homes that may have this, but it didn't really affect it. Or the appraisal, the person who did the appraisal didn't say anything about it. They're like, okay, cool. Um, Somebody said the deck. Uh, you know what was because like if you guys notice all this greenery around here, all these trees, all this stuff like that, all that is allergen. I think I said it right, but basically you just need to get power wash and paint it. That's what we did. We power wash and paint it. So the wood itself was in good condition. It just a lot of all the greenery around there just caused it to look dirty. Um, okay, so looking at this right now, you see the door is sitting right here. So what we do is move the door over here and move the window slightly this way to allow for the new door because we didn't have that much space. It was like 24 inches. Standard door is about 30 inches. Um, yeah. So if you're wondering why we moved this door, the reason why is because of this. When you first walk in, oh, let me go back. When you first walk in, let me play this video for you guys. Uh, See, when you first walk in, the stairs like right there. You don't have that much, if somebody knew that you're remodeling a home, they're like, why didn't you move the stairs? So that was one thing. These stairs were a little steep. Once you see the videos when you go inside, so we had to pretty much destroy this whole stairway, and we had to bring it down straight this way to make it more cosmetically clean, without having questions raised by the inspector for whoever the new buyer is. Uh, as you can see here, if you guys heard a little noise in the background, all these little droppings, that's actually ice. So this was done on a weekend, like in a day. So that's the door right there. They put some plywood up on the outside, and then they sided up. Well, they put this little paper here, and then they sided up. The new frames already being installed over there, and as you see, the windows moved over a little bit. Uh, question: how'd you guys pull the permits for this project? Okay, thanks, George. George asks, how'd you guys pull the permits? It really depends on your area where you're planning on doing projects. Our particular contractor knew how to pull permits. He also recommended we do the work on the weekend. This particular property is really close to uh, the city inspector, so that's what we did on the weekend. And it was snowing and ice, so it worked out great because nobody wants to drive around there. Um, so yeah, so that's what we did. And then later on, we put a rail system over here, as you saw the video. I'll show you guys in a little bit. So, all right, let's move on. Okay, so we're back now. We're in the front of the house. As you can see here, we put some stone right here to make it stand out a little bit. Remember that class market analysis? It kind of gives you an insight of like what is different around here. So if you see something that with similar models, and there's one house that sells like $20,000 more, there's probably one or two things they change differently. So one of the things we know is we put a stone wall out here and a brand new door. We were going to put a storm door, but based on the model of these rocks, we couldn't do it. Now another thing I mentioned earlier was private money, but one thing I didn't mention too was we have something called business credit. If you guys watch the class, business credit, they go over steps of how to set up your business entity to be able to have its own capital versus use your personal assets. In this whole game of fixing and flipping real estate investing, you want to make sure you have as much capital preserve of your own as much possible and be able to use other types of spending. So this is all business credit, business credit. And what that means is while we're going through this project, we have a budget we set ourselves in, and we don't make sure we don't lose over that budget. So if you have a business credit line set up, whether it's through a trade line or whether it's through a credit line, it helps you stay in track. But this was purchase reason why. So the first thing we did out here was we moved the door. The reason why I moved that door over there to over here is because inside, in a minute, we'll show you that some stairs. By code, you can't have a window in the stairs because if somebody were to trip and fall down and go through the window, that's not a good look. So we had to move that over here. And once we moved the door over here, we had to move the window from that side over here a little bit to make things more cosmetic correctly. Out here, we painted the deck. It's a nice ash gray color. It's very neutral. It goes with the door and the stone. And over there, we added a rail, so that way there's two handrails going up for safety, as well as if we have VA buyers, but in this case, I think we had conventional buyer. By the way, this property is under contract. Okay, let's talk about the numbers. So it was $50,000 between us and the distressed owner to agree on the property to acquire it. It was $75,000 to rehab it. That's the cost of materials, labor, miscellaneous things. And then I had mentioned earlier there was two liens on the property. So there's first mortgage and a second position HELOC. Combined together, we're looking at $275,000. Out of pocket, we're looking at $400,000. Now we listed this particular property at $495,000. It's about 1,500 square feet, 1,560 to be exact. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, all renovated from top to bottom. We didn't do too much work besides the things I talked about or will talk about. And we got under contract for $525,000. What that means is we had several showings, a lot of showings, and out of those showings came some offers, and the offers came in was this particular one that stood out from the other ones because they waived the home inspection. When somebody waives a home inspection, that's great because things that may come up, they are no longer care. They don't care about. So that's less out of pocket that we might have to pay for repairs or things that might be touch up. And in addition to that, it's just less headache. So sometimes if there's appraisal involved, somebody might drop it and the contract drops. But we got for $525,000 for under contract, and we'll be sold for that price. The appraisal phase has already passed already, and we're about 2 weeks away from settlement, which is the closing out of the contract and switching ownership. So you take your profit, why should you sell price in this point at $525,000? You deduct away from the $400,000 on the left, you're looking at $125,000 profit. So we're looking at $125,000 profit in about 3 months. So I discussed earlier, it takes a certain amount of time to negotiate, get the contract with the distressed owner, to the actual rehab, to the actual setup for the selling, to the showings on once it's on the market, and then negotiations back and forth. There's a couple of things involved. You guys can watch the understanding mortgages, and so you understand how a house gets sold, and title, escrow, and closing. Make sure the title process is clean, and then of course the settlement process. So $125,000 in 3 months. I think that's a good amount of money. If anybody disagrees, let me know, but that's where we're at. So this is the before picture of the property, interior wise. So imagine you guys just came inside from the front door, and this is the living area, the living room. I'll play a little video for you guys see what the actual area looks like here. So as you can see, she had wood paneling. Like these are wood. You can see the little lines right there. This is wood panel. So we had to tear all this down. This glass wall mirror, we had to tear this whole wall down. To support this wall after we tore it down, we had to build some 2x4s, and then up here we had to put a wooden beam to support the frame of the house. The windows were okay. The windows were okay, so we left the windows where they were. What's funny is in a moment here, I'll show you what's behind these wood panels. Was there's no insulation. There was no insulation up here either. These are drop tile ceilings. So the owner was saying how it was always cold downstairs and always hot upstairs. And after we did the demo, we were like, hey, the reason why was because you had no insulation. This green carpet was there forever, she said, and it smelled like it's been there forever. So we tore that up too as well. Oh, let me jump ahead of myself here. Okay, so there you go. My drawings are still on the screen. My bad. And then, of course, as you go over here, the stairs are like right in front of you. So we had to knock those stairs out of the way too. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so I'll give you guys a little tour of the kitchen. So this is the glass wall right here. So we had to tear this whole wall down. This was the original entryway for the kitchen. We had to tear this wall down as well and knocked it back a little bit to put the pantry area. Somebody had Krispy Kreme that day, I guess. All right, so you walk inside. As you look down here, you think this is tile. This is actual linoleum. It was linoleum. Um, this piece of countertop was actually granite, and it was pretty heavy. It took three people to lift it off the actual the top of the kitchen counter. Uh, the window was still good, so we didn't have to do anything. We had to tear all these cabinets down. Excuse my drawing. Turn the corner. We had to get rid of all those uh, cabinets. Of course, got rid of the stove, the microwave. Oh, this thing's like glitching on me here. All right, just want to show you guys something here. As we turn the corner, oh, come on, turn the corner. I have to go fast forward here. All right, cool. This is a 36-inch refrigerator. We couldn't keep it. I'll explain later why. This was the old area. This is the area where the old HVAC system was kept. We got rid of that. It needed a major update. She had heating in the house. It was through oil, but she had like no cooling system, no forced air. She had all window units, so we had to upgrade that. This wall over here, we had to knock down, go back. In a moment later, I'll show you guys what this area right here now looks like. Okay, so imagine again when you first walk through the door. This is all gone now. So once we ripped the carpet up, we realized there was actually wood floors, but it was so bad we had to tear it up. The window, of course, the one thing that surprised us was behind the wood paneling was cinder block. We're like, okay, we weren't expecting that. We were expecting wood. So that actually led to a bigger problem here in a moment. I'll show you. Mute this. Okay, so going around, you see, oh, this thing is glitching out. Okay, so that's the 2x4s I mentioned earlier, and this is the new beam to support the actual foundation of the house and the second floor. What's going on there? Oh, there it goes. Alrighty. See the wall's gone now, and then the kitchen's gone, so we demoed the whole kitchen. Um, Originally, this house was only where this was, everything outside. So here's the window. That's where this whole internal used to be just the house only. So the owner, the owner, the stress owner, she built a back room. So you'll see more as we go through this property, but that's that. And as you see here, that wall that was there, we knocked out now too as well. I'm not sure how I can erase these little red dots here, so apologies. But that's the 36-inch refrigerator right there. Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right, so here's the front. As you can see, these stairs aren't to code. I think they're like, I forget how long they were, but it was pretty steep. So we had to destroy this whole stairway, but That's the front door. So we had to pretty much move the door over here. But I'm not sure if you guys ever experienced this cinder block. It's holding up the house along with this frame. So we're like, oh crap, what do we do now? So we were able to go through some of the classes, talk to some community members, talk with the contractor, figure some things out. So we were able to move this whole window over here and the door from over here to over here. We didn't keep this door. We actually used this particular door for another project. It was in bad condition. It was just it couldn't be used again because of the frame had to be redone. So we put a new frame over here and new window over there. They found a way to tear through the cinder block without having to destroy the house, falling down. But that's uh that's one of the things we ran into. So somebody asked about I forgot who it was. I saw in the chat here. Somebody asked like, what are some things you ran into? So this is the one thing we ran into. Like, oh crap, how do we cut through cinder block? There's a tool for that actually. The next thing was the stairs because that's the only reason why we decided to move the door was stairs because like we were trying to figure out how to do these stairs to where it looks clean and be able to uh, have it look good from exterior wise. All right, so here's a video of the stairs so you guys can see what the stairs used to look like from upstairs down. Yep, beautiful green carpet. You see how steep it is? It's very steep. Literally, like you're rock climbing up these stairs. And yeah, so we had to destroy all that. Alrighty, and here's what it looked like after we destroyed it. We realized, see, you can still see the frame of where the staircase used to be at. So it used to be like that way. So because we're able to clear it out, we created a landing right here, and now this door is blocked off, and it made it safely. There was a closet right here. We just closed it up. It wasn't enough space to do anything, so we just closed it up. Yep. Cool. Alrighty, that's it for this part. Let's jump back live. Okay, so we're inside now. As you guys can notice, the biggest deal was the stairs. So before, on the video you saw last, you would walk inside and it'd be like a pair of stairs right in your face. The stairs literally came down like about right here. So that pretty much took up the rest of the room. And as you guys remember, there was a glass wall right over here. So right now, in the past, you wouldn't be able to see me because there'd be a big wall right here. So we opened this wall up and we installed a beam. It was really two thick pieces of wood. We didn't go with the metal because just installation made it easy for the contractors. So we put two wooden beams up here and supports over that side. By being able to do so, it opened the whole area up, and so we moved the door from here, this side, to this side. And then, like I said, we shifted the window this way to be able to put the stairs in. The stairs are about 30 inches wide, so we had to make sure we had clearance room to do that. So in this room, also we installed some recess lights to brighten up the room. Put a designer glass light right here, kind of stands out, make it like gives the option of whoever the next owner is can use this for a study, like a little book reading area, a loft, a dining area, or maybe they just want like a little family room. But it's a very open concept, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. Okay, so here we are with the kitchen. Like I said before, we knocked the wall down to open things up. So the wall was over here, and then you come in this way, it's a little section right here, there'd be a little hallway, and this will actually lead to the old kitchen, as you saw in the last video. So the actual old kitchen was right here, through right here. That's how much it was. This island wasn't here, it was like a really small area. So we put this, let's see, it's 36, this is about a 68-inch island. The actual granite countertops is about 72 inches. By code, you want to make sure you have 36 inches all the way around, because that's the rule. So we put a flat top cookware here. A lot of times people couldn't figure out, they were playing like Simon Says over here, like just pressing all these buttons. but it's pretty easy and straightforward. It's two buttons and turns the stove on. Um, Again, so before this wall would come all the way over here. So we chopped the wall back. If you guys remember the old video, there used to be a refrigerator right here. So we took the refrigerator out and we had to replace the refrigerator because the old one was 36 inches, which was too wide for this area. And we decided to put a 30-inch here. We installed recessed lights, so in case you're wondering, this is a microwave and oven. It's not two ovens. We have a photographer out here. She's like, "Why do you guys have two ovens?" We're like, "It's a microwave and oven." She's like, "Oh," and all you gotta do is open up. You can tell it's a microwave and oven. Put some backsplash, a little fancy backsplash right there. It turned out better than what we expected. Put some shaker cabinets, not too much. Turn this off here. And then, of course, we installed a pantry over here, so nice little storage for the next owner. All right, so we're in the downstairs bathroom. Play a little quick video so you guys can see what it looked like before. Okay, so there's a bunch of these little tile floors. These are actually tile. And then as we go up, you guys can see that it's all tile walls, heavy tile walls. There's an old toilet, there's an old vanity, an old bathtub. But from head to toe, this whole bathroom was all tile. I think I mentioned earlier, but let me see here. This guy. Right here. Remember I said earlier that that house, the back part of this, you see in a minute, the back part used to be all exterior. The house used to stop right here. This used to be a window, but it changed to like some kind of like shelves. Um, but these little tile things were really heavy. I was watching the people demo this bathroom with just tiles and tiles, heavy tiles. It was crazy. So we gutted the whole bathroom and started over. Let me show you next slide here. So you can see there, just tiles on tiles, had to be broken down. The floors are crazy, it's just tiles, more tiles, and behind us was cinder block. Um, yeah, one of the issues was in the other room behind this wall was uh, the room exterior wise. It used to be outside the house, but then so we had to run a different vent. So because of these cinder blocks, there was a little soft spot right here. So we ran a vent from this side over here to the other side of the wall to be able to have airflow on that side. Luckily, inside here above this door, this way was some airflow, so we didn't have to do much. We had to replace this door right there. Um, Chris asks. Chris asks here the question. The questions came in. How much time did it take you guys to redo this bathroom? It looks like a lot of work. Yes, it was, Chris. It was a lot of work. 2 days, believe it or not. So they literally demo the whole bathroom. As crazy as it seems, they demo. It took like 3 hours to demo. So they gutted the whole place out. From there, they had to uh, put some new Durock on the ground because this, there was a crawl space beneath this. So the house um, wasn't flat on concrete. It was up a little bit, and then so beneath this was actually plywood. So you have to put some Durock underneath here, and then Durock all the way around, so that way it doesn't get wet. Then hits it, line it, and the lining really takes about an hour to dry. So after that, they started to do the tile for the bathrooms, and then let that sit. And then while that was sitting, they started doing the floors. So that took about a day. And then next day they came in, they grouted it, and they put the mosaic pieces, which you'll see in a moment, and then started doing the wire installing. And that was it. Pretty much the project from beginning to end took about 6 weeks. The reason why it took 6 weeks was because of the stairways and the front door. It could be done sooner, but delayed us. Uh, we normally like to do a project that takes about between 3 to 6 weeks, somewhere between there. That's our cushion spot. Um, when you're fixing and flipping, you want to get in and out as soon as possible. So thanks for that question. Hopefully, answer anybody else's question. All right, let's move on to the next spot here. Move my slides. Okay, so we're downstairs in the bathroom. What we did here was we changed out the vanity, changed out the mirror, put some paint, new lights. Uh, this used to be all tile. We had to rip it all up. It was pretty heavy and crazy, but we made everything fit. You can watch in the video earlier, see how the tile is. It's just very small in here. I can't really get everybody in here at one time. But yeah, so that's it. Not sure you guys noticed or not, but we got one of these fans. It's pretty cool. It's like a light and a fan. It's a 2-in-1 combo. If you had a trade line, you know where to get that from. All right, we're downstairs, right across the hallway from the downstairs bathroom. Is this first bedroom, and let me play the video for you guys so y'all can see what it looked like before. Alrighty, the greenish blue carpet, awesome. We tore that off. And then the ceiling fan, we changed that out. The windows were fine. We didn't have to do much. In here, just like the other living room, was wooden, wooden, was it wooden panels? So we had to destroy all the wooden panels, reinsulated, put drywall up, painted it, changed out the doors. Yeah. Oh, sorry guys. So not too much in here. Yeah, so the closet was fine. We didn't do much to it. It was just to code, to standard. Change out the vents, change out the light sockets around the room. Donated this somewhere. All right. Play the video for you guys one more time. The guy who did the video, I'm not sure he was doing. It wasn't me though. So, he was walking in, turn around. Yep. Going around the room. Alrighty, let's move on to the next room, or let's actually go back to the live feed here. Okay, so this is the one of 2 bedrooms downstairs. Like I said in the story earlier, this room used to belong to an elderly woman. The lady who was taking care of this lady because she was extra income, but she was 92 years old, and as close as it is to the bathroom, she had her own little porta john thing she sat on, so the smell was really bad in here before. So the guys used a lot of kills to prime the walls, and then a lot of new padding to get rid of the smell. So here we are, got a new fan in here. We didn't do too much in this room. All I did was change the doors out, paint the baseboards, light sockets, put a new fan, like I said. The windows are newer. The last owner changed it out, so not too much in here, just carpet too. Okay, so we're in the second bedroom. Somebody can use this for an office, a play area if you have kids, toddlers, or whatnot. We didn't do too much in here. Again, all we did was change the doors out. We didn't change these 2 doors because it'd have been more hassle just to change versus keeping the way it was. It's about 36. Just gives a little cool look to have double doors. Besides the carpet, the paint, the ceiling fans, and painting the ceilings, not too much. We try to keep it simple as possible. Okay, so this is the back area I was mentioned before that the stress seller decided to expand on. She built this back area. It was okay, not the best installation. There's a vent over here, and then over here we had to extend it. I think I mentioned in the other video or the other slide that in the bathroom we had to move the vents a little bit. That's where we put the new vent right here. It's all drywall out here, so all we had to do was just prime it and paint it. The floors were still in good condition. It's laminate, very thick laminate, so it would have cost more to demo it and redo it than just keep the floors. And based on our comps in the area, people had this kind of style floors in certain rooms, so we used this room to stand out because it was one of the bigger rooms, and we kept that there. The windows were good, the French doors were good, so we kept that. I know you can't see in this picture, but these these wooden beams. All we did was paint. I mean, yeah, it was it was not there for any structural reason. It was just there for decorative reasons. But we just painted it versus trying to rip it off and try to patch it up overnight. Not too much work on this side, but I'll show you guys what we did on the other side. It's more work on the other side. So let's go back to the live feed. Okay, we didn't do too much in here. Pretty much just the floors were put in here by the last owners. It's not real wood, it's laminate, but it gives it a different look. It would cost more to actually rip it up and put it down because I think she has 4 or 5 layers up of the actual laminate. So on the expense side, we want to keep the rehab cost low, so we just kept the floors the way it was. We just painted in here, add like 2 recessed lights, changed the ceiling fans, painted the wood panels, and add some furniture to give it a bold look. Now, we didn't do much on this side. On the other side, which I'll talk to you in about a minute here, you'll see what we did over there. All right, so this is the other side of the room. We knew that from inside, looking out here, we didn't have to worry too much about cinder block because of how it was laid out. The one thing we were worried about was this low bearing wall. Oh shoot. Low bearing wall that if we tore it down, we have no issue. I'll show a video here in a moment of what it looked like. So the water heater was good. We have to change it out. So this is the wall we were planning on taking down. I'll show you guys what it looked like on the other side. So on this side, as you see these little holes, our contractor knocked a hammer through there just to ensure there was no cinder blocks because we had a lot of cinder block on the other side. All right, so this is the backyard. This area used to be just a screen-in porch, all screen-ins porch, and then they put a rug here. I don't know why. Over concrete, it just caused a lot of issues. It actually caused a little bit of mold issues, but not too crazy. We just cleaned up right away. They pretty much use this back area for storage. So that's the outside. If you guys remember the video, when I first came out, this was the same area. So we insulated this and we put siding. We put a window right here. Right. Go inside. This is all for decorative reasons, nothing crazy, just wood right here. So we tore it down, and insulated drywall. So here's the wall that we were going to tearing down. So after we removed these little wooden planks, we realized it was just wooden frames and just drywall. So next slide here. So after we did the demo of the wall, see how the wall's gone now? We couldn't really tear this part down because it was a beam going to the attic supporting the house. We took this door frame and moved towards the back. Just a lot of drywall, and then light fixture was there currently. We just rewired and made sure it was to code. So let's jump back to the live feed and give you guys more information. Okay, so you guys noticed the last video, there's a wall right here. Fortunately, this was not a low bearing beam that wall. So basically, it was just all like wooden panels and insulation and drywall. And on the exterior was just wood. We just knocked it down, tore it off, and opened this whole area up. If you guys notice the video, it's very open up. So once we knocked that out, the door that was right here, instead of wasting materials, we took the door and pushed it to the back. At the very beginning of the tour, that's the door I came out of. So that's where we did with the door. Over here, we insulated everything, drywall up, added a window. Windows aren't hard to add if you know where to buy them at. We also put a light fixture here to make it kind of a, this is pretty much open to interpretation. It can be an office area, it could be a little sitting area, a breakfast nook. You can put a little bench. It's up to you guys, up to whoever bought this, what they want to do with it. I'm not really sure. It's funny, the person who bought the property has the same first name as the person who used to be the owner. So I thought it was really interesting. Anyways, fun fact of the day. We couldn't really knock this part down because this is a a beam that supports the roof. It supports the whole house. So if we take this down, the whole back part of the house will fall down. So we didn't want to do that. And then over here, we had like a little ramp to kind of make things blend in, because you know, you got your light floors and dark floors. It kind of stands out a little bit. Other than that, not much to it. We changed out some air vents, and yeah, that's about it for this section. Okay, now we're upstairs in the master bedroom. Play this video so you guys can see what it looked like before. Okay. Come in, we changed out the ceiling fan, changed out the door itself. Used to be carpet up here, old smelly carpet. Windows were fine, didn't do much. Turn around here. Let me show you his closet. So this closet used to run all the way down here, and there was only one entryway. So if you'd like to play hide and seek, it was a good place to go. But for the rest of us, not so much. Play here. All right. I don't know why I didn't go in there, but all right. One thing here, this used to be the entryway to the upstairs bathroom. So we eliminated this whole door. We drywalled up, so that way we put a big vanity piece right here. We were trying to do something different to make us stand out based on our comps in the area. Our original plan was to move the stairway over here, which I'll explain in a minute, but we couldn't because there was a beam supporting the whole house right there. And if we knocked that down, we would knock the whole house down, and we were trying to avoid doing that. Okay, Jose, thanks for asking a question. You were like, you guys seem to run into a lot of beams. Is there any way around that? No, there's no way around that. You either don't mess with it all or decide to build a whole new house. So we didn't do that. The question, Sarah asked a question. When you guys are patching up walls and closing up walls, how do you determine where to put the new entryway? That goes back to comps, being able to do comparables in the area. Like I said earlier, there was a class market analysis. The instructor, Brian, goes over how to pick out which comps go well and which comps you shouldn't use. Most of the time, you look at a sales price, and that determines, you know, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. For this particular property, we tried to do a little upscale because of the area. You pretty much try to sell a $500,000 house here, and put in certain things like a barn door in there, which I'll show you in a bit, helps out. So that's why we did what we did. Let's see what else in the video here. Okay, go around now. Let's go to the bathroom now. Sorry for the markings. Fast forward for you guys. Okay, so this was the old bathroom. They had some kind of old school spa slash bathtub. We got rid of that. This was actually tiles, like that plastic piece you put in the back to make it look like more luxurious back in the day, I guess. Swing around here. Yeah, so I'm not sure what he was doing, but anyways, let's go to the live feed. It was a really crowded bathroom. Okay, so this is the master bedroom. If you guys noticed in the video before, there used to be a doorway right here that led into the master bathroom. So we covered that up, and the reason why we did that was because we wanted a bigger vanity. The way things were kind of set up before was very small, and to a selling point, we want to make sure that the vanity kind of compensate the space and make it look more luxurious, because we're trying to sell more of a upscale house in a growing neighborhood. One thing I forgot to mention was originally we weren't planning on moving that door from one side to the other side. Our plan was to originally move the whole stairway over to this area right here, because these two closets used to be one closet. That was the original entryway over there, and then from here over was just dead space. Like it's like a long closet. We're like, why did somebody build such a long closet? So we were planning on moving that stairway over here and having a walkway down. Unfortunately, this little area right here is a low bearing wall and had a beam going supporting from the base of the house all the way to the roof. So the contractor told us like if we were to knock that down, the whole house would knock down. So we're like, crap. So that's what made us. That's one of the things that we ran into. The issues we ran into was that, and so we quickly networked with some people in our community who'd done something similar, and they told us, hey, why don't you just move the door? Um, so we did. The issue we ran into next was the cinder block, which I talked about in the last slides, but we were able to overcome that. I guess looked at some different blueprints of prior projects, and we were able to move that. Anyways, in this room, besides opening a new closet, change out the door, cover up the wall, the paint, the ceiling fans, the carpet, new baseboards, new light sockets, windows, all the same. We didn't change anything. That's about it for this room. Alrighty, so this is the master bedroom upstairs. I'm sorry, master bathroom upstairs. We had a barn door, so you saw me pull in. Pretty cool. At first, we didn't think it would work, but we made it work. So it's pretty cool having that little feature. It makes other bathrooms stand out. In here, we had a backsplash, put some mosaic pieces up, and put the mirror up to have it stand out. We staged it with some greenery to make it stand out in the pictures, new light fixtures. So we had our contractor measure, so it wouldn't hurt for you guys to check on your contractors. Our idea was to add 2 sinks, but he told us we couldn't. But we have all this space over here. I don't know, it's about 24 inches. We could add to his vanity, have 2 sinks, but we didn't. This is about a 48 inch. We could have fit something a little bigger in there, but it is what it is. I had a new toilet. As you saw in the pictures, we had a new shower. Didn't do much with the brick. It gave kind of a contemporary look, so we just painted it white. And besides that, not much in here besides paint. All right, we're upstairs again still. This is the second bedroom upstairs, so I'll play the video for you guys to see. It's dark because there's like no light. So we changed out the little light fixture with a ceiling fan, brighter lights. Windows were fine, took out the AC unit. This right here, this ghetto closet, I'm not sure what they were doing, but this whole area was used for storage. I can jump to the live feed, explain more, but yeah, besides that, just change out the carpet in here. Alrighty, so in this room, if you guys remember on the videos, somebody built a ghetto closet going all the way out here. It's like 2x4s, and they made some weird closet. And nobody actually lived in this room. They actually use it for storage. Why? We don't know. It's pretty big. You can put like a full-size bed, maybe a queen in here, and have a little nice guest room. So we actually built a proper closet. So we tore the 2x4s down, put some drywall up, and then enclose this, put some racks up, so now it's a closet. Over here, a little area, so if somebody's traveling, they can put the suitcases right there, and then more storage in here. So that was it for this room. Besides that, there was just the light up here. We changed the ceiling fan, carpet, baseboards, paint. So we're in the backyard. This crazy looking shed was back there. As old as it looks, it was pretty sturdy, and you'll see here in the next slide what work was taken into tearing it down. So inside, so basically the husband used to do some side work where he's a mover, the one that got killed by a drunk driver. And every day when he worked this place, he would bring stuff home and store inside the storage unit. And it was untouched since he had died. The wife never went out there and messed with it until we acquired the property, and we told her like, hey, we need to tear this thing down. It's unsafe. And yeah, we need to clear it out. So once we cleared it out, we just cleaned up and put some chairs for the pictures. Whoever the next owner is, they can do whatever they want with it. Make a little barbecue area, gazebo, fire pit, There's plenty of concrete underneath there to make a play area, wherever not. It's a pretty big backyard, but not sure you guys saw the video with Faye Jones, but this is her and her son trying to rock it back and forth to knock it down. So here they go. I'll put the video link description below so you guys can watch the video in your own time. It's about 17, 18 minutes. And she goes over how she was able to self-direct her retirement account, which I mentioned earlier. She was the one who did that. And now she's taking control of her retirement by able to invest in projects such as this. So let's jump back to the live feed. Okay, last stop of the day, the backyard. If you guys haven't seen the episode with our business partner, Faye Jones, and her family, come out here to conquer the shed that was right here. Let us know in the chat below or the box below so we can give you guys a link to watch that video. She was out here for several hours with her and family trying to knock this shed down. It was crazy. Anyways, we eventually knocked it down, put some chairs out here, a little staging material, give the next buyers an idea of what they use space for. There's a light socket right there. You can rewire it. Maybe have some kind of man cave, I guess, outdoor man cave. We laid some rocks down just for picture purposes. But besides that, that's about it. Thanks for joining us. If you guys have any questions at all, please let us know. You haven't been to an intro meeting yet, get with the person who invited you. If you're just scrolling along and you see this video online, you're like, what's this all about? What's the intro meeting? Just type in the word intro and we'll get you the information you need so you can see what we do, how we do it, and everything like that. Again, thanks for joining us. My name is Van Dang. See you in the next video.